Live streaming is on. So, good morning, everybody. How are you on this warm Monday? Looks like we are have moved into a week of real summer. I want you to know that operation. I think Cool Breeze is on for the city. Anytime the temperature is over 85 degrees, so we're at 83 right now. The cooling centers will be open very soon. Um, if you need them, they're there. Get your babies, your elders, yourself. If it's too much, don't stay. If you have a place without air conditioning, it's just you can overheat so quickly before you even know it. So I just want you to take care of yourself. Okay, I have no video. Oh, there we go. That was interesting. So we've been away for a minute. Good morning, whoever is there. I'm glad to see you. You, I want to say this, could have chosen to be anywhere else this morning. But if you're here, you are doing this for yourself. And I just want to say, I appreciate you. Please know that you can ask questions at any time. You have my email everywhere, my phone numbers. I'm not keeping any of that information on you because I want you to ask questions. I want you to seek help to get your understanding. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and look at some reading this morning. I'm going to show you something so pretty so you know me right. I'm going to show you this beautiful, beautiful picture of, well, yeah, sorry. It's a giant squid. It is a giant squid. And um, they exist. It is actually that big. Was caught by a fisherman, Japanese fisherman. So, where are we going with this? All right, let's see. He is ugly, right? So, let's take a look at uh, technical meaning. So, maybe we're going to learn a bit more about this squid, right? So, let's look at, let's make this nice and big so we can see it. How does Sweetek describe the scientific squid? Um, and the scientific squid means that we are going to be looking at not a pretend animal, but the actual animal that we saw on that picture. Let's learn some information. Let's take a look here. The article is by someone. Oh my goodness, you're giving me a hard time this morning. This was one of those videos, but we never have the video when we need it. So I thought, let's do it. I'm gonna holla. So I thought that it would be much easier if I can maybe try something else. Sorry, me cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. All right, y'all. Here we go. Now let's just get this bigger, and I'm not really sure why I'm having such a problem. Oh, I'm hoping. Oh boy, can you read it? I'm hoping that you can read it. Okay, I'm going to read to you, starting with Brian Sweetek. Let's take a first look. Um, I hope you got it, babies. So, the deep squid, dragon of the deep. After over 150 years since it was first sighted by the HMS Daedalus, the mysterious creature still eludes scientists. By Brian Sweetek from the Smithsonian. So this was an actual article that was in the Smithsonian magazine on June 22nd, 2011. So here's our author. There are few monsters left in the world. As our species has explored and settled the planet, the far-flung areas marked "Here be dragons" have been charted, and toothy terrors once thought to populate the globe have turned out to be imaginary or merely unfamiliar animals Bigfoot has yet to be found and actually confirmed to be in existence, right? That's one. Um, but yet, some elusive creatures have retained their monstrous reputation. And foremost among them is Architeuthis ducks, du- dukes, the giant squid. So, this creature, likely the inspiration for the legendary kraken, has been said to have terrorized sailors since antiquity, but its existence has been widely accepted for only about 150 years. And before that, the giant squid were identified as sea monsters or viewed as a fanciful part of maritime lore, as just tall tales. As in the case of a strange encounter shortly before scientists realized just what was swimming through the ocean deep. So we really originally um, knew him to be fiction until about 150 years ago. Oh boy. Sorry, y'all. We're going to have to let this one go. Continue the lesson. Um, okay. Call her back, and I know exactly who that is. So at about 5 in the afternoon on August 6th, 1848, Captain Peter McQuay was guiding the HMS Daedalus through the waters between the Cape of Good Hope and the island of St. Helena off the African coast, when the crew spotted what they described as a gigantic sea serpent. The beast was unlike anything the sailors had seen before. News of the encounter hit the British newspaper The Times 2 months later, telling of the ship's brush with a nearly 100-foot monster that possessed a mouth full of large, jagged teeth, sufficiently capacious to admit of a tall man standing upright between them. So when we say that his mouth was capacious to admit a tall man standing upright, and a huge mouth, right? And then if you look to the left, this arrow is telling us that we are reading a nonfiction or factual historical account. McQuay, who was asked by the Admiralty to confirm or deny this sensational rumor, replied that the stories were true, and his account was printed a few days later in the same newspaper. Dark on top with a light underbelly, the sinuous 60-foot creature had slipped by within 100 yards of the boat, and McQuay offered a sketch of the animal made shortly after the sighting. Precisely what the sailors had seen, though was up to the debate, it seemed that almost everyone had an opinion. A letter to the Times signed FGS proposed that the animal was a dead ringer, Uji, for the extinct. Let me get back up here. Oh, Lordy. For an extinct animal. Oh, Lord. This doesn't want to work today, does it? So this is the beginning. And I'm all out of I'm all out of order. So what we're doing is, let's go back here. He was extinct. Okay. So no. So now this is really all they just giving us the summary and just the account. And then we have clarification that this was a giant squid. It was a dead ringer for an extinct animal that was the same. So let's review what we have so far. We have technical vocabulary. In technical terms, are words and phrases that speak to a specific field, such as science. Experts use this kind of language to communicate within their fields. And so we have informed language that is specific for communication. In this lesson, you'll learn how to analyze an author's refinement of a key topic by determining how technical descriptions of the topic develop across the text. So, core lesson is that we're going to read the passage and highlight technical terms and phrases that describe a key topic. We're going to look across the text, identifying new information the author gives to refine the term. So we're still going to be looking throughout the text for how the author builds a definition for us to give us understanding of information we don't use every day. So we're going to ask ourselves, how do the author's word choices impact my understanding of the topic? So while there may be technical language, as you read through a passage, it should be made clear um, what the technical language actually means. It should be made clear. So here's our core lesson. Let me go back here and shrink this just a little. There we go. So how does Steenstrup describe, good Lord, the scientific squid? What technical terms describe the squid? So here is the next paragraph. Precisely what the sailors had actually seen, though, was up for debate. It seemed that almost everyone had an opinion. A letter to the Times signed FGS proposed that the animal was a dead ringer for a long extinct, long necked marine reptile called a plesiosaur, and fossils which had been discovered in England just a few decades before by fossil hunter Mary Anning. Other writers to the newspaper suggested the animal might be a full grown grouper eel or even an adult boa constrictor snake that had taken to living in the sea. All right. So interesting. So now we're going to go into the next paragraph. The naturalist credited with giving the giant squid its scientific start was Gepetus Steenstrup, a Danish zoologist at the University of Copenhagen. By the mid-19th century, people were familiar with various sorts of small squid, such as the species of the small and widespread genus Loligo that are eaten as seafood. Who eats calamari? And the basics of squid anatomy were well known. So, like the octopus, squid have 8 arms. They're also equipped with 2 long feeding tentacles that can be shot out to grasp their prey. So now we're learning about things about the squid. It has 2 arms, 8 arms, and 2 long feeding tentacles. The head portion pokes out of a conical rubbery structure called the mantle. So you have that long tube, and that which encloses its internal organs. That's the mantle for today. And inside its squishy anatomy, it has 2 hard parts: a tough internal pin that acts as a site for the muscle attachment, and a stiff beak that is set inside of the squid's ring of sucker-tipped arms and used to slice its prey, the beak. So now we know some more things about the squid, right? Um, so its naturalists were only beginning to study life in the deep sea. Relatively few of the approximately 300 squid species now known had been known to them at the time. Now, core lesson. How does the author's word choices impact my understanding of the topic? The original description that it was similar to an extinct plesiosaur. We learned more that it had 8 arms, 2 feeding tentacles, a conical rubbery mantle, an internal pin, a stiff beak to slice its prey, and sucker-tipped arms. And so then, how does Switek describe the scientific squid? He uses specific technical language to provide a clear scientific view. And so the initial comments show limited knowledge, saying that it looked like an extinct plesiosaur. However, the refined scientific language shows that it's similar to an octopus, that it has 2 long feeding tentacles, it has a beak to hold and slice prey in order to eat, right? As well as a conical rubbery mantle, which is its body, and an internal pen that holds in its organs. So the language progresses to the article to give you a more analytical, we've taken a closer look and a more identifiable squid than previously known in maritime stories. I'm gonna cry. It's just so foolish. Okay, so what we want to do next is to reread the passage, highlighting technical terms and phrases that describe a key topic, and then look across the text, identifying new information the author gave to refine the term, and then ask, the author's word choices, how do the author's word choices impact my understanding of the topic? So in this lesson, you have learned to analyze an author's refinement of a key topic by determining how technical descriptions of the topic develop across the text. So what I want you to do, because I don't want to prolong this lesson, make it really, really long, I want you to reread this and then Wednesday be prepared to work through the worksheet together. So that's all we have for now. And I will see you hopefully tomorrow for our writing block and also for science. So you all take care and be well. And again, your homework is to reread this about the squid and think about how, with each passage, your understanding is a little more defined. That's it. Take care.